Hello, sports fans, and welcome back to a very special edition of Inside Titan Sports. My name is Erik, and we come to you inside the Titan Fieldhouse. What a great time of the year it is. Welcome back to the show, the head coach of the men's basketball team. He is Jeremy Shulman. Coach, welcome to the show, special edition. What a great time of the year.
Erik, appreciate you having us on the show. You know, not just me, but obviously the entire team back here. And it's a fun time of the year right now. You know, it really is, because we're back from Hutch. We're back from the national tournament. We don't have a game plan to prepare for the next game. Not a whole lot of stress right now, so we can kind of sit back and enjoy and really enjoy what we've accomplished this year.
Well, I tell you, kudos to all the guys here. Last 2 years, 61-11 over 2 years. That is an amazing stretch as a program. Sophomore class comes through, but 61 wins in 2 years, that's pretty special, Coach.
I don't have enough time to talk about it. I just don't. It's really amazing. It really is. And knowing that coming into last year, the all-time school record, and we've had basketball since, I think, 1960, the all-time school record was 29 wins. And for the group last year and then the group this year to both eclipse 30 wins, yeah, it's a special group of guys.
Yeah, I mean, last year, national title runner-up.
Yeah.
This year, third in the country.
Yeah.
31 this year, 31 last year. And there's so many things that you can say about this squad, but what is the biggest principle that you see about this team?
You know, there's a lot. So I would say being able to deal with adversity.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of things. Obviously, we're a family. We've got some togetherness. But, you know, this group really showed that, you know, overcoming adversity was better than just having it perfect. Because it wasn't perfect this year. Right. And we had to deal with adversity all the way from our first Jamboree, all the way even before our first Jamboree. And, you know, through our first tournament of the year, we go out to Vincennes, it's very ironic that we opened the season playing at Vincennes, and we finished the season playing against Vincennes. And so we faced a lot of adversity. We've had our ups and downs, you know, but it's such a special group that we've been able to overcome so much adversity and to finish the way we did. It's really exciting, really special.
Well, like you said, look at the emotions. You had to wait for an at-large bid,
yeah.
The state championship, kind of a downer.
Yeah.
Then you find out the elation of the at-large bid.
Yeah.
Then you go on a run at Hutch, and it's just, here you are. You can finally maybe breathe a little bit.
Yeah, there you go. So, no, it really is. As I said, with a lot of the ups and downs of the year and the emotional roller coaster that is college basketball, I mean, it's a testament to these guys to be able to go 3-1 in the national tournament 2 years in a row. And I mean, the #1 team in the country, you know, in both Division I and in junior college, lost their first game of the tournament. And it's amazing how quick things can be done. And so for our guys to have the ability to go 3-1 in 2 straight national tournaments is, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's a really special group of guys.
So set it up for our viewers. Kind of look back on the experience now, because it was such a quick ride. Yeah. Now you have some time for retrospect. How did it set up logistics of getting out there? When did you land in Kansas? And I saw that you practiced at Wichita State as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we faced adversity right on the trip as well. So we flew out to Wichita, and on the trip out to Wichita, we had everything planned to practice at Wichita State University. We had a full hour practice. We didn't want to practice more than that, save our legs.
Right.
But by the time we had some issues with the rental cars and some issues with the transportation, and so by the time we got to Wichita State to practice, we had about 18 minutes, I think, on the clock. So, you know, we knew we had some adversity even right then, but we enjoyed it. It was fun. We just got a lot of shooting in, playing such an amazing arena at Wichita, and you know, so. Yeah, from there we went back to Hutch and got settled in and went to a coaches meeting and kind of got the guys all focused and ready, and then we started watching games the next day, and then we didn't play till Tuesday. And so, you know, there's a lot of scouting prep and practices while we're there trying to get ready for our, you know, Tuesday game against the winner of Trinity Valley and Baltimore City, which of course Trinity Valley won by 50 in the first round and was one of the best in the country, setting up for our second round matchup against Trinity.
So the biggest thing, how did it feel when you returned to Hutch after last year being national championship runner-up?
Yeah.
To get back to, what was the feel and sense of the team getting there and your sophomore class that had that experience that they were on the ground before?
Motivated.
Motivated.
There's no pause on that. Motivated. The team, myself, my staff, everybody, but especially the ones that had been there before. I've never been so motivated in my life as being at Hutch this year and getting back and having the opportunity after losing to Chipola in a team that we'd beaten earlier in the year, and maybe not going to Hutch, having to wait to see what happened with that large selection, getting the opportunity after getting to the national championship game the year before. Really motivated, and I thought our guys were as well. And we took advantage of the situation. We did. I mean, beating Trinity Valley, who's as good as any team in the country.
Right.
Then playing Barton, Kansas, who had an unbelievable Kansas crowd, and they were playing as hot as anyone in the country, just beating the #1 team in the nation. Yeah, and then obviously playing South Plains, who won the whole thing, and then playing Vincennes, who came into the game 34-2 and ranked 3rd in the country. Motivated, our guys stepped up to the challenge.
Probably the biggest thing, you made the Final Four back-to-back years.
Yeah.
You went to the eventual national champion, and I mean, there's so much to play. The biggest thing, like you said, motivated. Thing is, I seen persistency with this team.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. Every one of these players accepted their role, and just such a proud group for you to coach.
No, it really was. It really was. And again, it was learning throughout, and it was a roller coaster for some of the guys individually. There were guys that were playing a lot early, then didn't play, and then played, and there were guys that didn't play, then they did play more, and there was injuries that took effect, and guys been banged up in preseason, regular season, late in the season. I mean, it was a true next man up, philosophy, and the guys really stepped up. And one of the guys we'll talk to here pretty shortly, I think, on the show is going to be Jalen Warren, and you want to talk about a meteoric rise for our program, and going from a kid that was the youngest player on the team and a kid that, as a staff, we thought, if he gets beat out by some people in August and September, maybe he's a redshirt candidate, and then becomes a guy that's like, well, he's got to play. And then come off the bench, then he ends up starting. And by the end of the year, he was as good as any point guard in the entire country. And it showed it at Hutch and with his performances out there. So it was cool watching how the team transformed throughout the year in our 4 different stages, the different stages we had. So as you said, persistence is a great word for these guys.
Another thing, too, is like Jalen Warren, like all these guys, Eastern Florida were Titans rise. Great story there.
Yeah.
Looking back now, you can breathe a little bit. State championship, you were kind of let down.
Yes.
Looking back, did you have some confidence that you guys were getting at large? Just secretly, did you hold down low that, hey, you lost your chance at state, but you felt that the way that you scheduled this year, that strength of schedule, did you have a feeling that you felt good about getting that at-large bid?
So
or were you fitty-fitty?
Here's the issue with that. I was, first off, very hopeful because we did schedule arguably the best schedule in the entire country.
Yes, you did.
And we played everybody, and we played no preps, JVs, no D2, D3, JUCOs. I mean, everybody was an outstanding team. So I was hoping we would be rewarded. But due to a unfortunate rule in the selection process, you could only take 3 teams from Florida no matter what.
I'll be darned.
And in the actual national top 25 poll, the 3 teams for Florida were ranked number 2, number 4, number 6 in the country. So if there was an upset winner, like Chipola, who was playing in the state championship game, had Chipola won, one of those 3 outstanding Florida teams who all advanced to the Elite 8, one of those teams would not have been at Hutch. And I definitely didn't want the stress of having to worry about who that was going to be. So thankfully, Northwest took care of business in state tournament, so all 3 of those teams advanced to Hutch, and all 3 of those teams were able to get to the Elite 8, and obviously we got to the Final Four and then won the 3rd place game.
That's amazing right there.
Yeah.
You said the 2nd, 4th, and 6th ranked teams, that one of those teams had a chance to sit on the sideline?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm so proud of watching this team in terms of all you guys, is really, you took advantage of an opportunity. You proved to the committee that they chose correctly.
Yeah.
You went there and you played 4 games. 2 years in a row. I mean, you played 4 games.
Thank you, committee.
We'll send them a thank you card.
Absolutely.
I just think that this team, that everybody's stepping up. I think next man up is something I really saw on the sidelines from my role. And to see another program locally in Orlando is that you guys have that same grit of finding a way.
Yeah.
And it's just so proud. Now, you're sophomores, sophomore-laden class.
Yeah.
What's your message to these young guys as they make their next step in their student-athlete career?
Enjoy the moment, enjoy where they are, and always remember the process. It's always, those guys have been here for a couple years. Most of those guys were here 2 years, and of course, Easy and Silas were here just 1 year as Division I transfers. But enjoying doing things the right way, enjoying the process of doing things the right way on the court, off the court, and everything we do, and treating people well. And if they can take that with them to the next level and then pass that to their professional careers, and after that to their other professional careers, back, and family careers, et cetera. But, being true to the process, not worrying about the result, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, really being in the moment. Those are things I try to even work at myself every day. But the better, that's my message to the sophomores and to the freshmen is the process in the moment.
Well, the biggest thing is this team, also I see that they play loose, they have fun.
Yeah.
That's why you score a lot of points. But the same token, I've seen you guys, when you're ready to roll, practice or game day, everybody knows when to come together. It's showtime, lights are on.
No doubt about it. We've got a little bit of an agreement where it's my philosophy to, I'm going to be wild about details. I'm going to be wild about defense and loose balls and spacing and rebounding, everything that we do. But the agreement is to let them play free on offense. And I'll be honest, I didn't always live up to my agreement. And I was at times in the conference season, I think I was a little too tough on them on the offensive side and didn't let them play as free as they needed to. And so thankfully, because I think it's open communication with the guys, I was able to speak with a few of the guys, and we had some of the guys, I wanted to have them voice their opinions even anonymously just to try to get improvement going late in the year. And so hopefully we try to find that balance a little bit better of still being very attention to detail, but let them go a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, I thought they did a great job of that and played a little freer on offense in the national tournament, did a really good job.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a fun team to watch. A lot to process. It's going to take you some weeks. What is your proudest moment of this season? I know it's kind of an on-the-spot kind of general question, but just looking back, as everything is so fresh, what is the biggest thing that makes you proud about this squad and this season?
There's so much. It might be something as simple as the way they interact with the kids at Lincoln Elementary in Hutchinson, Kansas. We took the whole team out to the elementary school, and I mean, I don't know how many kids. There had to have been 300, 400 kids out there. It was a big group of kids. And
special.
It was really special. A lot of young kids from K through 6th grade. And watching our guys, and because I tell you, process is so important, and how we conduct ourselves is important. And I think our guys made such an impact on those kids. And then the kids end up coming back to the games.
That's cool.
And they watched us at Hutch, and then they didn't just watch the first game. They came back for the next game, and then they came back for the third place game. And so I think going to Lincoln and then seeing some of those kids sitting with Mike Nuga and sitting with Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren became a superstar with the
I can see that.
with the little kids out there, and I think they related to the braces. So, but I think that was as proud as anything for me, and it supersedes anything on basketball. But it was just such an enjoyable time, and seeing the just the overwhelming support from those elementary school students and how excited they were to get to know our guys. So I was really proud of that.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a great way to share that story. But pick up the hardware real quick. We got to show you.
All right.
Here we go.
There we go.
There we go. Coach Shulman, third best team in the country, 61-11 the last 2 years. We're going to take a short break, catch up with a couple of our players. This is Inside Titan Sports.
Create the career of your dreams with a degree from Eastern Florida State College. Earn a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or college certificate in growing job fields like healthcare, business, and computer technology. On campus or online, you can find inspiration and success. Anything's possible where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Hey fans, welcome back to a special edition of Inside Titan Sports. Erik Kohler live inside the weight room right here in Titan Fieldhouse. Very, very special time. What a great year. 61-11 2 years. With that being said, we got Michael Nuga. Michael, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
And we got freshman Jalen Warren.
It's nice to be here.
I'll tell you what, congratulations guys at the Hutch. You fell short, but hey, third in the country, 30-5. And Jalen, you really came out of your own during that starting point guard job. Talk about the ride and the experience of the Hutch.
The experience was amazing. I got to go up against some very high competition, some other point guards who are being looked at by some really good schools and who are very good themselves. It's a lot to learn from only in my freshman year, so I can bring it to next year as a sophomore, one of the leaders of the team.
I tell you what, Coach has done a great job. He's spoken high remarks on the other side of the break that we're Titans rise here at Eastern Florida, but really your transformation this year in your freshman season, is really amazing.
Coaches just told me to play with a lot of confidence, do what I do best. And that's just finding all the guys around me and just read and react. So if I see a lane, I'm going to drive the lane. If the defense collapses on me, I'm going to kick out to my shooters or my big men. And if they don't, then it's a layup for me. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, you have that it factor. Now, speaking of which, something special, Michael Nuga. Welcome back, buddy. You did a great job on the show a couple times. Again, national tournament all-tourney team. You had a great ride up there at Hutch, and we always love you having on the show. Talk about your riding experience in the second edition of Hutch.
It was amazing, and it was just an amazing experience. I'm just happy I was able to be there with my teammates, my coaches, and just went out there, played my game. My teammates did a great job. Jalen did a great job of, getting me the ball in positions where I could, make plays for the team, and the coaches did a good job of putting me in position to also do well. So I'm just happy things went the way they did.
Now, Coach said this was the second time for Hutch, back-to-back years for you personally. He said motivated. What was your energy and thought when you arrived at Hutch? If you got mission accomplished, just get this thing done.
Well, my energy came from as soon as we heard that we're going back to Hutch. I was ready to go. I know I was there last year, and I was just itching every day. I couldn't sleep early because I was just thinking about, I'd have dreams about the moves I would do at Hutch and stuff like that. And I'm just happy that we went there. We didn't finish first, but to be third is a great accomplishment.
But Michael, part of the program, sophomore laden class, 61 wins in 2 seasons. I mean, that says a lot about this program.
Oh yeah, it's a testimony to how hard we work in practice and the time and hard work we put in off the court and on the court, and it just pays off. We definitely take pride in our hard work and buying into the program and everything we do, and it shows.
Jalen, to play like with this Energizer right here, this guy gets me excited to do the show. How does he help bring up your game for Jalen Warren?
I go up to Mike before every game and tell him nobody can run with us. If you see Mike run on the court, he's like a flash. So I tell Mike if I get the ball, just run. We're running. I'm gonna look up for him and make things happen. So
I'll tell you what, right there, Coach Shulman over there just looks like a proud papa, and he's created this culture of family. And I've been around this program a couple years now. I've been very fortunate with this opportunity to see how you guys have grown as a team and a franchise per se. Jalen, you really got to be excited about your decision to come play for Coach Shulman at Eastern Florida.
Very excited. Like you said, Coach Shulman builds that family culture with Eastern Florida, so and I can tell that with all these guys. So the sophomores that are leaving, I'm going to be in touch with all of them just because of how close we become on and off the court. And that's like Coach Shulman always preaches every day, how we got to come together as a team and buy in as one. So that kind of just brought us all together.
Now, Mike, you were in that spot last year being a freshman. Talk about your transformation and growth and maturity in 1 year as you sit there as a sophomore.
I just had I had good people to look up to, like Kareem, Austin Awad, Joanne, and they just really helped me to understand that when they were freshmen, they were also learning.
Right.
So it helped me to know that I'm gonna mature. I got to watch the right people to help me make decisions, and I still talk to those guys till today when I need advice and stuff. So, just watching how those guys carry themselves definitely helped me to change myself, my game, and the way I look at things to be more mature for myself and for the team.
Michael, I think that's great to hear that you stay in touch with your mentors and those guys are receptive to you as well. What is your message for Jalen as you set this program expectations, 61 wins in 2 years? What's your message to Jalen to keep this train rolling?
My message to Jalen would be, don't take anything for granted. Enjoy every moment because it's really a blessing to be here, and just do what I couldn't do in my 2 years and bring home a national championship.
Well, I tell you what, runner-up last year, third this year, and that's nothing to shake a stick at. But the fact of the matter, it would be nice to get that banner. I know that Coach Shulman and his wife would really enjoy that banner inside the Titan Fieldhouse, but it's a tough run. You guys played 4 games in a short period of time, and you won 3 out of those 4 games. That's pretty impressive, Michael.
Yeah, it's definitely impressive. We played a very good teams in Trinity Valley, Barton, and Vincennes, and we just worked hard. We knew that we had to come in with a different mentality where nothing's going to be given to us. We knew that we had to take it 1 game at a time, but we also knew that losing 1 game early could mean the end of the season. So we just went in hungry, and we just got to work.
Jalen, with that being said, with the state championship, you had a loss, but obviously Coach Shulman did a great job. One of the hardest and difficult schedules in the country.
Right.
Got you that large bid. Talk about from your standpoint of waiting to see if you guys were going to get inclusion in the national tourney.
Waiting to see if we were going to move on or not was pretty hard on all the guys. Not really knowing if this is the end of our season or if we're going to get a second chance. It's kind of like, got some guys discouraged, like, oh, this is not how I wanted to go out. Losing in the first round of state after we had set such high expectations for ourselves. So it was a little demoralizing at first, but thank God we were given a second chance, and we made use of it. So.
Well, I tell you what, Jalen and Michael, to that point right there, it's talk about taking advantage of an opportunity. You were getting a second chance, but again, thanks to Shulman's scheduling prowess, it got you that chance to get the national championship, and you played in 4 games at Hutch.
Credits to Coach Shulman. He definitely did a great job with our schedule, and we're just happy that we were able to go back. We knew that, like Jalen said, it was very nerve-wracking a little bit to not knowing if we're going to continue to play. And I know for me, personally, being my last year, I wanted to go to Hutch and enjoy it with my brothers. So it was just, as soon as, I remember I was in class looking at my phone, like, I'm just waiting for it to see the Eastern Florida logo pop up. And when it did, I just was able to pay attention again. So I'm just happy that we got to do it again.
Now, guys, with the reset, when you found out you were going to go to Hutch in Kansas, what was the thought then? It's like, I know that Coach said the motivated part, but what was it like, hey, we got laser focus, we got a chance to do something now and get that title? Jalen?
So after I saw what side of the bracket that we were in, I saw we were going to have sort of a tougher bracket, but we've battled through adversity, like Coach has said before. We battled through adversity all year round, so that wasn't really, didn't really bring us down. It kind of motivated us to want to do more and do better. So seeing, like, after where we were in the bracket, it was kind of like let's prove everybody wrong. Let's prove everyone like the committee gave us a second chance. Wasn't a mistake. Like we should be here. So.
Well, Jalen, actually, at that point, I remember we shot the show that day when the bracket came out, and it was total jubilation. And I remember Coach right in there, he was excited that they got the tougher seat. Say, hey, you know what? At large, bring it. We've been doing this all year. This is no difference, no change for us. Michael, what did you think about that?
I was just excited. For me, it didn't matter if it was the Golden State Warriors in our bracket.
Okay.
I looked at it the same.
I like that.
As soon as I saw it, it was business time. I was ready to play anybody. It didn't matter who, and we were going to get it done. And that's what we did.
That's pretty good. Now, Michael Nuga, you got a lot of looks now, and obviously you can see why. You're athletic. You got the look. You got the sound. Everything good, and the future's bright for Michael Nuga. You're going to have to sit down with Coach and talk about a lot of offers and stuff, but obviously you got drawn to Eastern Florida, have family set up, a lot of positive energy, people that are pushing you up. What's going to be a driving force to make that decision? I'm
trying to go somewhere where I can continue to do what I do, like I play here.
Right.
I just want to go somewhere that's going to help me to elevate my game, and the goal is to go pro. So whichever school puts me in the best situation to do that, that's where I'm going.
That's pretty good. Now, Jalen, how much can you learn for what Michael's going through? Because, at this level, you're here for 2 years, and Coach Shulman does a great job to cultivate you guys and make you guys better people in the community as well. But look how far Michael's done in 1 year, and look what you've done in 1 year in your freshman year.
Right.
What's your growth potential? What are you looking for next year to bring for Eastern Florida men's basketball?
Well, one thing I can learn from Mike for sure is don't get caught up in things out of the game. So
Good point.
if you don't see a whole bunch of schools messaging you and because to be honest, Mike told me that he didn't really have a lot of schools talking to him in his freshman year. And if you look at him now, he's one of he's getting a lot of schools that are hitting him up, wanting to get him because they see the potential in Mike. But it's one thing I can learn from Mike for sure is don't get caught up in all that stuff. Just play basketball. If you're good enough, schools will recognize you and see the potential that you have. So kind of just take it one day at a time, one game at a time, one practice at a time, and don't look too far into the future. So.
I'll tell you what, you got a good head on your shoulders. Michael, what he just said right there, that's got to make you feel like a proud big brother right there, what he just said on the show.
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel good that I'm able to do something where people can learn from. And like he said, I wasn't into the hype. I didn't fall into the hype of schools recruiting me and stuff like that. I'm very strong-minded, so I know that being part of such a great program, everything was going to take care of itself. I wasn't worried about that. I was worried about this team right now and making sure that we do what we have to do to win games, and the rest will take care of itself.
Let's talk about something very proud for Coach Shulman on the other side. He talked about Lincoln Elementary School, and they were drawn to Jalen. I followed along on Twitter, and it looked like you guys really made a difference in the community. Something I'm proud as a fan for you guys, and Coach as well as a coach and a father of you guys, is that, hey, you were out there doing good things for the kids, and they really bought into Eastern Florida, Jalen.
Right. Yeah. So as soon as we arrived at the school and came to the gym, everybody was first thing they were amazed at was our height, and all you could hear was, "Oh, look how tall they are! Look how tall they are!" And then we went around and asked the kids some questions. They got to know us a little bit better. They got to see one of our sophomores, Shaq, actually dunk it, and that just blew the top off of the roof. And
Like a
then,
fireworks show.
yeah, yes. And then I was actually very, very surprised at the Barton game when I was at the free throw line shooting, and I made a shot, and I heard behind me, like really high up in the stands, a whole bunch of cheering. I looked back for a quick second. I saw a couple posters, but I wasn't sure like what was going on until after the game when Coach said, "Why don't we go up into the stands and thank Lincoln Elementary School for coming?" And then so that was just amazing to have them come out and support us. That was one of the highlights of the tournament for me for sure. I made some really good friends at that school. That I got to add on Snapchat and follow on Instagram, so they get to, keep in touch with me. So
That's pretty good.
very
I mean,
nice.
Michael, right there. I mean, again, as you guys further your career as student athletes and try to go pro and all that journey, that's really what it's all about, is what you did at Hutch, is making a difference, bringing other people up, and showing that there's a way, there's a lot of positive in the world. Michael, that had to make you feel good as well to make that difference in the community up there.
Yeah, I always love to inspire like children behind me, and like even from where I'm from, Toronto, kids message me all the time. What can I do to work hard and stuff like that. And I just try my best to give them the best advice that I can and tell them what I've done so they can also be successful. And those kids were just amazing. Like Jalen said, we got walk in the gym. I remember I walked in, they're like, "Oh my gosh, he's so tall," and I was like, "Cool." And then Shaq walked in behind me, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, like he's a giant." And it was just an amazing experience. Like those kids, I'll definitely forever remember them. And I got to add some of them on Snapchat. Some of them messaged me. I got to give them some gear and stuff after the game. So it was just an unbelievable experience.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been an unbelievable ride. 61-11 in 2 years.
Thank you.
Jalen, look forward to seeing you next
you
year.
very much. Thank you.
Coach,
Absolutely. I'll
you
reach
look good
across
with that
over
trophy as always, I tell you what. For anything and everything, check us out online at EFSCTitans.com. On behalf of my producer, Rob Landers, Michael Parsons, I'm Erik Kohler saying so long. Until next time, Eastern Florida, where Titans rise.